nobody expected to see somebody from India.
Shiva Keshavan, now please prepare.
When I was a kid, I got hurt a lot. So I think this dangerous mix of speed and adventure, I think I found them both in luge.
And we're joined by a very prominent athlete, someone who is a record breaker, an Olympian who has done a lot of work for his own country. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. एक एथलीट के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट क्या होता है when he goes to these kind of events?
Well, I think as an athlete, I was happiest when I was on the field and playing. So basically, to give access to young athletes to do their dream job, that is, I think, the best what anybody can do for an athlete. And then especially when you have an event such as the Khelo India Winter Games, in which the facilities are of a certain standard, where you know that there's that much respect put into preparing the field, to giving the equipment, to giving kits, and to making sure that it's being done in a coordinated manner. So this is how our athletes will be able to grow, and then we'll be able to match up against other countries who have similar facilities.
केशव, आपका अपना एक रिकॉर्ड है और you have represented your own country to different levels in different platforms. एशियन गेम सबसे ज़्यादा उसमें है, ओलंपिक्स उसमें है, विंटर ओलंपिक्स. और एक एथलीट के लिए जो है ये सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम एक डिसिप्लिन होना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है. एज एथलीट आप क्या मशवरा देना चाहेंगे एक एथलीट को?
So as an athlete, see, when I was growing up, जो आजकल की सुविधाएं हैं वो ये भी नहीं थी. So I think my advice to young athletes is always to accept what we have and to make the best of it, and always strive for improvement, of course. लेकिन never make an excuse कि I wasn't able to do because I didn't have the best ski or because I didn't have the best lift. Because the real champions around the world, they come from people who come from really, really hard circumstance, and then you have that hunger, that will to do something. If you're born with a golden spoon in your mouth, you will never have that hunger. So for athletes, I think it's to keep that hunger alive and to keep challenging themselves. I mean, sports is wonderful because it teaches us, first of all, what are our limits, and then how to overcome those limits. And that is something that I think it's not just for athletes, but for everybody. That's a good.
So going into your journey, I mean, you started from a very early age. Then you made records. You broke records.
To try more and to prove people wrong and to prove myself. So I think if something is easy, then it will not interest you. You will look for the next hurdle to try and overcome.
Now that you come to Kashmir as an expert, as someone who overlooks things on the ground, what do you think? What is needed for the Terps, for the state to improve?
Well, this has been a huge learning experience for me. What our approach was when we came here is to make sure that the facilities are to a certain standard which can be compared to international level, and we've tried to bring that in. I think there's a lot that needs to be done, and a lot of simple things that will make a huge impact. Like, for example, the infrastructure planning. Nature has given us everything over here. I've never seen such a beautiful natural winter sports destination. But still, the level of activities, sports activities, are not up to the mark. So a little bit of master planning is required to make sure that the areas are allocated for different activities, different sports, so that people also can get the benefit. They can be the winter sports industry can flourish. The local people can get better livelihood through these kind of activities. I think, and that is the work a little bit of the administration, that a little bit of thought needs to go into it and involve all the stakeholders, people who have this experience, exposure. You can hire foreign experts if you like, because it's nothing new that we are trying to do here. We're trying to replicate something that's already been done before. So I think the scope of what we can do is a lot more. There are a lot of Olympic sports. For example, in this edition of the Khelo India Winter Games, we've introduced ski mountaineering, which is a new Olympic sport which doesn't involve expensive infrastructure and that can bring real benefit. Similarly, a whole winter sports park should be done here. There should be freestyle skiing, there should be half pipe snowboard. There are so many things which are easy, and to certify the slopes to international standard. A little bit of work will need to be done on the slope so that we can have that international certification. We can hold such competitions. Give certificates to the coaches, the trainers, so that there's a standard in that also, because coaches are the people who are getting and grooming the young talent. So if you upskill them, then you are impacting a large community. So there are a lot of small things that can be done, but it needs to be planned in a little long-term and strategic way.
Yeah. As you said, it needs a master plan.
Yes.
So we need to work on that master plan also. So lastly, people who are watching you and for whom you are an inspiration, and how would they go into your kind of field and your kind of learning?
Well, I think sports is a lot about circumstance. You generally excel at what facilities you have access to, which is why access to sport is important. So it's important, I think, for parents to make sure that their kids are trying many things at an early age. I'm not a fan of early specialization. I think kids need to discover, need to be exposed, need to discover what they're capable of, and need to give their body time to mature, and also their mentality, because the mental aspect of sport is very important. Whether you like individual sports, team sports, endurance sports, strength sports.
True.